This edition of MacVoices is sponsored by PDF Pen and PDF Pen Pro by Smile, the essential PDF utility. Download free demos and find out more at smilesoftware.com. MacVoices is at Faster Together in Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Jon of Puget Systems, and they make boxes that are a little bit different, Jon, I would say, than some of the standard things we're seeing on the show floor.
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement?
Well, yeah. So we build customized workstations for specific applications. So we talk to everyone. We don't have like a one-size-fits-all product. We design the product for the use case.
Now, I want you to listen to that custom boxes, that's pretty impressive. Dedicated to the particular application.
Yeah, and I think what makes it unique in this industry, I mean, you'll see enthusiast PCs for like gaming or consumer use, but in this industry, you have to really understand the use case, and we put in the time and energy to do that. So we're prepared to talk to you about like post-production work or VFX or storage, things like that, and we can have those conversations with you, understand what your needs are, and then build the hardware for that use case.
So if I come to you and say, I want you to build me a machine, what kind of questions do you start to ask me?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, we start with the simple ones of like, what software do you use? What's your budget? Do you have any like space size constraints? And then based on those answers, then we'll go down the rabbit holes. We'll talk to you about what codecs do you use, what file resolutions, what are just like some specific pain points you have with your current hardware that you're looking to solve or do better. And once we have those, like sometimes those conversations can take us weeks, but we'll have those conversations. We'll figure out exactly what the best like value hardware is for you, and then we can put together a configuration that like solves your specific pain points. Ultimately, we feel like the best workstation is the one that you don't even have to think about, because it's just working, it's staying out of your way, it's keeping up with your creative process. Any time that you're spending tinkering with your computer or like banging your head against the wall, getting it to it's not doing what you need to do, that's time you're not doing your craft. And what we're passionate about is letting you get back to your job.
Okay, so the one thing you said there that surprised me is you said, well, we talked to you about the size, and I assume you mean physical size.
Yeah.
So what size boxes do you potentially build? I mean, are you talking desk size or?
It can be all over the spectrum. So we're showing a demo we have here is like a shoebox size computer. We like it because we can travel with it to shows like this. And so it's very capable. It's a good box that can have multiple GPUs, multiple SSDs, and still be on your desk, something that's small enough for that. We go smaller than that. We go larger than that. It really depends on like how much hardware or capability do you need in one box. And sometimes like space is a constraint, and we can just, how much can we pack into something of that size? We also work with people that are doing maybe DIT systems that are on set, that we're doing rough cuts right there on the shoot. And that needs to be small enough, light enough, portable enough that they can do that. We sell it with like a Pelican travel suitcase. We throw it on the plane. And so obviously you want a smaller system for that.
Very interesting. But I almost don't know where to start because there's so many things here.
Yeah.
Being an Apple-oriented show, I have to ask, are you able to build something that is Apple compatible? So for maybe a dedicated Final Cut box?
Right. Well, not a Final Cut box.
Okay.
But if you're on the Adobe Suite, then obviously you could jump over to PC and continue your work on the Adobe Suite there. It's every day we're talking with people that are on Mac, are on Apple now, and want to move over to PC because of the extra, either the better value you can get on the PC side, or just more horsepower. Like the demo we're showing here is showing 6K red footage in real time, no proxies, no pre-rendering, and that's just performance that you're not going to be able to find on the Mac side. So the problem with the PC side is, the blessing and the curse on the PC side is it's very diverse. You can do anything. There's all these possibilities, which also means you have to be like an expert in order to make it work and get it to work smoothly and properly. That's the pain we take on. So if you're moving from Mac to PC, you don't want to have to figure it all out. That's what we're for. Let us figure it out. We'll just tell you, here's the hardware recipes that are best for your specific workflow. We'll validate it. We do all the testing, all the benchmarking, stress testing on that particular software, and then we take on those pain points. All of our customer service staff, from tech support to sales, we know that software, we know your language, and so we can take on the pains of the PC side and let you get back to work.
Okay.
So it's like a Mac-like PC experience.
Right. Well, where my head is going is, okay, so we're all seeing constant software upgrades, both for the applications and the system software. Is that something that I turn to you and say, okay, you handle it, I just want this thing to run?
Yeah, well, we give guidance on, so a common pain point will be like there's some Windows update that hits, or there's some new driver that hits, and everything explodes, And so we keep track of that. We're the ones that actually go back to Intel, NVIDIA, Adobe, and help resolve those problems. And so we would tell our customers, hey, this new NVIDIA driver that hit, don't update, because there's a known issue with Premiere. So hang on, we'll let you know when it's safe to do that update.
Okay. So you're not just hardware geeks, you really have to pay attention to the software aspect of it as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes this unique, is I can tell you how much work that is.
I would think that's probably a bigger thing than building the actual boxes.
I think you're right, yeah. And we have to do a lot of training internally and a lot of time and energy put into understanding that software side, because frankly, the hardware, I think you're right. It's easy in comparison to the software.
This is very unfair, but I'll ask it anyway. Where do your prices start? I mean, when should I start thinking about calling you and saying, I think it makes sense for me to have you build me something just for me?
Yeah, sure. That's not unfair. Our workstations, I think we start somewhere in like the $2,000 range. A lot of our bread and butter business, when we get into like machines that are optimized for 6 or 8K Premiere Pro, those are more in like the $5,000 to $7,000 range. And then it's only up from there, right? It's how much storage and memory and GPUs do you need. So we're capable of servicing a pretty broad spectrum. It just depends on what you need and what your budget is.
So where do people go to contact you and have you build them something?
Yeah, well, there's our website, PugetSystems.com, and even if you're not ready for a workstation right now, go check it out. All of that testing I said that we do, all of those articles, we publish that for the whole world to go and enjoy. One of our motivations is what can we contribute into this industry to make things better, to provide more diversity and more options. And so even if we're not selling the workstation, we want to provide that. And so go check it out, read all of our articles. And but when you're ready for a new workstation, absolutely come talk to us.
Great. Jon, thank you so much for the time. I'm glad we were finally able to get together. We had a couple schedule conflicts, folks, but we actually got together here at Faster Together, which seems kind of appropriate, I guess.
Yeah, it works.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices, back with more from Las Vegas. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.